and welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rhonda Lohnert.
And I'm still Chuckalicious Chuck Williams.
A very important and vital part of our community, BSA Hospice of the Southwest, just a really family care organization in what they do and how they handle it. And we're lucky enough to be joined today by Mr. Shane Harnish. He's the Quality Assurance Coordinator and a registered nurse at BSA Hospice of the Southwest. We're going to dig in on the topic of heart disease this morning. Mr. Harnish, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Shane, let me ask this. Explain to me just what is heart disease and tell me some of the symptoms.
Okay, well, heart disease, generally when we think of heart disease, it's atherosclerosis is what we call it. So it'd be a clogging of your arteries to your heart, which can lead to other problems such as a heart attack or a stroke. You want to make sure you stay healthy and make healthy choices. So, a heart attack, most people, when they have a heart attack, will have a lethal arrhythmia, for instance. So, with us being right close to Valentine's Day, many of us are going to go out and eat and things like that. And we'll notice all around our community, we'll have defibrillators available.
Right.
So I think that's one of the biggest things for any of us to know. If we see someone go down, then most of the time that's going to be heart related, and a defibrillator could save their life.
Well, we've got symptoms that we can notice, but talk to us about risk factors. Who would be more likely to develop heart disease, and how can we decrease risk, if I can speak? Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I think you did quite well there. So, risk factors, knowing your numbers for one. So major risk factors for heart disease would be high blood pressure that's untreated, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, smoking.
Ugh.
Those are the major risk factors. So unfortunately, we all know what to do. We're supposed to eat healthy. We shouldn't smoke, decrease the salt intake. Again, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so when you go out with your loved one and you're picking your meal, don't pick that chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes and gravy. You should maybe look at something a little more heart healthy. I don't think I really have to tell you what that is. Most of us already know. It's just making those healthy choices that will decrease your risk factors. Putting down that salt shaker, maybe going for a walk after that lovely Valentine's dinner that you're going to have. So, exercise, the thing about exercise is just doing more than you used to. So if you don't ever go for a walk, we'll go for a walk. If you're running 5 miles, we'll try to run 7. So all of those things will decrease your risk.
Let me ask you this, Shane. Sometimes it's hard to wrap your mind around it, and usually when you say heart attack, it's an instant thing, and you either survive it or you don't. It's not a 50-50 9 times out of 10. But when would someone qualify for a hospice diagnosis with heart disease?
One thing I'm going to say is making sure that we understand what hospice is, because so many times when you say the word hospice, people think, oh my gosh, they're dying. They're going to get morphine and they're going to die. We hear that so much, but that is just not true. Hospice is the recognition of the person that they have a chronic illness and that they qualify for the services that hospice has to offer. So we're about living, not about dying. We're going to try to help people, make the best of the time that they have left. Just by helping them. So when they qualify, sorry, I got off track there. They qualify for hospice under heart disease if they have shortness of breath, or if they have chest pain with any exertion, for instance. So walking up a flight of stairs or just talking, they may have shortness of breath. And that's generally when they qualify for hospice services.
Go ahead. I like the way you put that. Hospice is not about dying; it's about living.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think too many of us have that connotation. We heard the word hospice and our thoughts go to the negative right away, but you guys are facilitating living, really.
Absolutely. It's about making sure you make the best of the last moments you have. So surrounding that by family and friends and travel or, doing the things that you always wanted to do. We make sure that people do that. It's
I
very
want to circle back around to something you mentioned, a defibrillator.
yes.
Because, when you hear that, you think it might be a complicated thing to run to use on someone, but explain to us how easy it is.
Anyone off the street can run a defibrillator. It is best if you go ahead and go get a CPR certification so you're very aware you've actually done it that way. But you just grab the thing off the wall, wherever it is, and it shows you there's step-by-step instructions. Right. Generally, once you open it, it'll start talking to you and tell you exactly what you need to do. If not, push the green button, it'll turn it on. And it will walk you step by step. Many of them have a little video screen, will show you exactly what to do. So just follow that. It's looking for those lethal arrhythmias that we can shock them out of that arrhythmia and they will live. But it's very important to do it very quickly. So,
speaking of same, one of the symptoms or watch outs I do every day on an hourly basis. But after 70 some odd years and you're still doing that same thing, it's not that you're immune to it and it's not going to get any better, but just what do you do? All right, smoking. If you've been smoking since you've been 16 or 17, hey, it's not that easy to stop smoking. What do you do?
Well, those are really good questions. And I think it's how motivated we are or do you have a family history on top of that also? So, each one of those questions is individual. And my response to that, if they're already on hospice services, is why quit now? Most of the damage is already done.
Right.
If you enjoy it, keep on doing it. Again, we're about living, not about dying.
I really appreciate that, Shane, because like I say, when you hear those words, the worst, it happened to me. I had an aunt who had a stroke a couple years ago, and when you heard the word, we're sending her home on hospice, that dread comes over you. And then through great folks at BSA Hospice, you understand it's about extending life. It's about the care of the patient, making their life that much more enjoyable. If you have questions about heart disease and hospice, give BSA Hospice of the Southwest a call at 806-356-0026. They're located at 5211 Southwest 9th Avenue. Shane, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.